Hey everyone, MeltingMan234 here, and welcome to another episode of Forgotten Media, where I dig up some stuff you may or may not have heard of. Today we'll be looking at an old cartoon show that didn't last very long, known as the Tomfoolery Show. This was a cartoon series that first aired on NBC TV in September 12th, 1970. The show was created by the Rankin and Bass production, who you might remember them from their stop-motion holiday shorts like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman. Since nobody remembers the Tomfoolery Show, you might consider this as Rankin and Bass's least notable project. This was made in England by the Hallis and Batchelor Animation. The show contains nonsensical verses such as ones by Edward Lear, Ogden Nash, Franklin Burgess, and Lewis Carroll. The show was known for its silly stuff and nonsense. With riddles, jokes, and silly things, it's all tomfoolery. The show had a cast of some wacky characters such as the enthusiastic elephant, who's a bit of a stout fellow and acts just like a showman, the fastidious fish who walks around on stilts and usually talks in a gurgly voice, pretty much a fish out of water, the yongy-bongy beau, whose head is larger than his body, the scroobius snake, who tries to tell funny jokes and riddles but accidentally ends up ruining it, and the umbracious umbrella maker, who's a bit of a smart person. There's also this bird character who always whines about his life and all the nonsense and stuff like that. The music in the series were actually tunes that were used in the King Kong Show and Mad Monster Party. The show had some random titles that were just very weird, such as Three Cheers for Rubber Bands and Succotash Has Identity Problems. Yeah, they were pretty random. Each episode usually had a song or a poem in it, but it usually had a lot of jokes. There was a running gag where this delivery boy is running around trying to deliver a large plan and shouting, "Plan for Mrs. Discobulus," or something like that. I'm sure some of the jokes were pretty funny back then. Nowadays they seem a bit corny. The show was intended for young viewers about the element of children's literature, but since a lot of people were confused with the show, it was hard to follow the segments here and there. The show was pretty much just a collection of bizarre jokes, riddles, and a cast of some crazy-looking characters. Since the Tomfoolery Show didn't catch on very good, after 17 episodes were made, the show ended in September 4th, 1971 and was never seen again. Nowadays, it's pretty hard to try and find an episode of the Tomfoolery Show. I don't think it was ever released on VHS or DVD, so who knows if anyone will be able to find all 17 episodes of the series. Although there is one episode that can be found on YouTube. Just type in Tomfoolery Show and you should be able to find it. In closing, the Tomfoolery Show was a pretty zany idea, but I guess it just didn't catch on very good, and who knows if Rankin and Bass regret making it. But to be honest, the show isn't that bad. It has some interesting stuff that were pretty good during its time. Well, that wraps up this episode of Forgotten Media, so this is Melting Man 234 signing out.